The modern world measures intellectual success by accumulation. We define a smart person by the sheer volume of data they process, the degrees they hang on their wall, and the worldly prestige they gather along the way. But knowledge stripped of faith has a dark side. Unanchored intellect produces arrogance. It builds oppressive systems. History shows us that raw intelligence is routinely weaponized against the truth. Observing this intellectual vacuum, the scholar Hasan al-Banna warned his readers about the limits of secular education. He outlined a specific alternative, MUTSAQQAF al-FIKR, or the educated Muslim mind. This is a mind cultivated by revelation, where every intellectual pursuit is a means of drawing nearer to Allah. In the Islamic worldview, knowledge is never an ornament to show off. It is a heavy trust and a responsibility designed to overhaul a person's worldview and sense of purpose. This intellectual journey begins in a cave called Hira. The society outside was drowning in ignorance, tribalism, and superstition. The very first command sent down from heaven contained a specific condition. The instruction was, "Read in the name of your Lord." That precise phrasing roots the pursuit of intellect in humility. It demands we recognize that Allah is the ultimate source of all human understanding. But today, we face a flood of competing and often contradictory worldviews. How does an educated believer process it all? Islam relies on the fitra, our original natural human disposition, as an internal compass to evaluate every new idea. The Muslim mind remains open to outside information. It absorbs, analyzes, and learns, but its compass remains rigidly fixed to this core truth. The Qur'an deliberately embeds this priority into its text. Allah first mentions those who believe before mentioning those who have been given knowledge. Only when knowledge grows out of pre-existing faith does it produce guidance rather than mere sophistication. Without this precise sequence, without faith acting as your permanent anchor, you are merely collecting unguided data, not acquiring true Islamic knowledge. The Quran poses a direct question to the reader. Are those who know equal to those who do not know? The Quran answers this by placing knowledge in a specific context. It describes a believer standing alone in the depths of the night, prostrating and standing in worship. True knowledge is an internal awakening. It creates a vivid awareness of the hereafter that pulls the believer out of bed to pray while others sleep. This intellect expands outward. The educated believer looks past worldly events to reflect deeply upon the creation of the heavens and the earth. Their observation doesn't terminate at the physical marvels of nature. It travels straight through the intricacies of creation until it logically reaches the Creator. The definitive test of the MUTSAQQAF al-FIKR is action. If your intellectual analysis of the world doesn't increase your worship and your hope for Allah's mercy, the knowledge hasn't done its job. This creates a paradox on the Islamic intellectual path. The deeper a believer travels into scholarship, the more acutely they realize how vast their ignorance actually is. The Qur'an illustrates this exact scale perfectly. It states that even if all the trees on earth were carved into pens and all the oceans were ink, they would dry up before exhausting the words of Allah. There is a firm boundary to the human intellect. No matter how much our understanding of the universe grows, the vast realm of the unseen remains the exclusive domain of Allah. That is why the final posture of the greatest Islamic scholars is always submission. They study, they research, and analyze relentlessly, but their journey ends with their heads bowed to the ground, not lifted in pride. The true MUTSAQQAF al-FIKR rejects a mind bloated with trivia. Instead, it leverages worldly knowledge to arrive at a state of total submission before the wisdom of Allah.